Johnny Test is one of the most unnecessarily hated cartoons I have ever seen in my life. Actually, I think it's the most unnecessarily hated cartoon I have ever seen in my life. Seriously, I cannot think of a cartoon that deserves its hate any less than Johnny Test. Whenever I look at a very despised cartoon in the cartoon community like Teen Titans Go, or Alan Gregory, or Ren and Stimpy's Adult Party cartoon, I think to myself, yes, these shows deserve all the hate that they get. I don't feel this way when it comes to Johnny Test. In the same way I discussed the reasons as to why I hate the Loud House, I will explain the reasons as to why I like Johnny Test, and why I think the hate it gets is unfair. And speaking of the Loud House, no, the fact that Chris Savino is involved with both cartoons doesn't matter to me. Chris Savino created the Loud House, and he worked on the first season of Johnny Test. I'm not going to start liking the Loud House because the person that made it also worked on Johnny Test Season 1, and I am not going to start hating on Johnny Test Season 1 because one of the people that worked on it also created the Loud House. Just because someone worked on something I like doesn't mean I have to like everything they worked on. Just because Butch Hartman created The Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom, and Tough Puppy, which I all like, doesn't mean I have to like Bunsen is a Beast, which he also made. Just because Danny Antonucci made Ed, Edd and Eddy, which I like, doesn't mean I have to like The Brothers Grunt, which he also made. This logic is idiotic and flawed. The fact that Chris Savino worked on both Johnny Test and The Loud House is purely a coincidence and nothing more. With that out of the way, allow me to explain why this show doesn't deserve any of the hate it gets. First off, I want to bring up arguably the biggest problem people have with Johnny Test, being the claims that the show rips off Dexter's Laboratory. I watched both cartoons when I was a kid. I never saw a resemblance between the two shows. I rewatched both shows recently. I still don't see the resemblance. Legit, the only thing Dexter's Laboratory and Johnny Test have in common is the fact that they both have laboratories and geniuses in them. That is literally the only resemblance I could see between the two shows. And even then, that is an unbelievably stupid reason to call Johnny Test a Dexter's Laboratory ripoff. Just because both shows have geniuses in them doesn't mean Johnny Test is a Dexter's Laboratory ripoff. Going by that logic, Jimmy Neutron and Rick and Morty are both Dexter's Laboratory ripoffs because they both have geniuses in them. What's that? Jimmy Neutron and Rick and Morty aren't Dexter's Laboratory ripoffs? Well, in that case, neither is Johnny Test. That's like if I said SpongeBob SquarePants was a ripoff of The Simpsons because both shows have yellow main characters. It's stupid. Besides, while I was rewatching Johnny Test, I couldn't help but notice that the show has more in common with The Fairly Odd Parents than with Dexter's Laboratory. I'm not saying that it's a Fairly Odd Parents ripoff because it's not, but hear me out. Johnny is kind of similar to Timmy Turner, and Susan and Mary are similar to Cosmo and Wanda. Are you starting to see it? If not, then don't worry, because there's plenty more where that came from. The art style of Johnny Test Season 1 looks quite similar to the art style of The Fairly Odd Parents. Both shows have that thick outline art style that a lot of 2000s shows had, and I really wish that style made a comeback instead of the bland Steven Universe art style that a lot of shows have nowadays. Scott Fellows worked on both shows. He created Johnny Test, and he wrote a lot of episodes for The Fairly Odd Parents. Both shows have an episode where the main characters for Johnny Test's case becomes Tiny. Fairly Odd Parents has Tiny Timmy, Johnny Test has Lil Johnny. Both shows have an episode that parodies Scooby-Doo. Fairly Odd Parents has a Scooby-Doo parody in Channel Chasers, and Johnny Test has Johnny Dookie Doo. Both shows also have a Tom and Jerry parody. Fairly Odd Parents has a segment in Channel Chasers again, as well as an episode called Mice Capades, and Johnny Test has Tom and Johnny. All of that can be brushed off as a coincidence, but there is one similarity between both shows that is no coincidence. Both shows started off really good and then became awful. Really awful. They both started off great, had a brief moment where they were decent, and then became straight up garbage. And yes, I said it. Johnny Test used to be a good cartoon. This is the main reason as to why I think the hate it gets is unwarranted. It wasn't the best cartoon ever, it wasn't a masterpiece, it wasn't anything like that, but it was a really good show for its first season. All of the problems people have with the later seasons of Johnny Test are not present in season 1. There's no whip cracks, there's no flash animation, there was a lot of creative episodes that I doubt made anyone call it a Dexter's Laboratory ripoff in its early days, and Johnny is less of an annoying brat in season 1 than in the later seasons of the show. It used to be good, and then it just got progressively worse as it went on. I have never seen a cartoon go through seasonal rot this badly. When SpongeBob went through seasonal rot in seasons 6 to 8, it still felt a little bit like SpongeBob. It had the occasional moment where it felt like the pre-movie seasons, or even seasons 4 and 5. In fact, at its best, seasons 6 to 8 can be on par with seasons 4 and 5. When the Fairly Odd Parents went through seasonal rot, it still had its moments. This is mainly for the Poof era of the show, and maybe the Sparky era. The Chloe era can go fuck off. But during the Poof and maybe Sparky eras, there was still moments where it felt like the first 5 seasons of the show. Then the Chloe era came and fucked everything up. We got an annoying new character that was worse than Poof and Sparky, the theme song was ruined, and halfway through season 10, the show became flash animated. Sound familiar? My point is, the later seasons of Johnny Test feels nothing like season 1. All the charm and heart that the first season had is completely gone in the later seasons, especially seasons 5 and 6, which was when the show got really bad. I'm sick of people treating this show like it was bad the whole way through. Why don't people acknowledge the fact that the show used to be good in the same way they do for the Fairly Odd Parents, or the Simpsons, or anything like that? What, is it because Johnny Test isn't as popular as the Fairly Odd Parents or the Simpsons? Who cares about popularity? Johnny Test went through seasonal rot, in the same way SpongeBob went through seasonal rot, in the same way the Fairly Odd Parents went through seasonal rot, in the same way the Simpsons went through seasonal rot. And I don't care if this has become an unpopular opinion, but in the same way Family Guy went through seasonal rot. And I say it's unpopular because people nowadays hate classic Family Guy for some reason. I thought it was only modern Family Guy that people hated, but I guess people hate classic Family Guy now. I have no fucking clue why. Everyone made a big deal when these shows became bad. If you were to go on a modern Fairly Odd Parents sucks video and you go through the comments, you will see a ton of people saying, "Oh man, I miss when this show was good. I wish that it was still good. Or at the very least, I wish they ended the show when it was still good." Why the fuck isn't this the case with Johnny Test? I don't see any reason at all as to why the fact that Johnny Test used to be good shouldn't be acknowledged. It used to be good. It used to be really good. When the show became flash animated for season 2, it stayed good, believe it or not. There was still a lot of original ideas. The heart that the first season had was still there, although there was not as much. And the flash animation honestly doesn't look that bad for its time. I want to bring up two things that the cartoon community likes to neglect and never bring up when they talk about Johnny Test. Number one, there's a reason as to why the show has the flash animation it's known for having. Not long after the production of season 1, the WB network, which was where Johnny Test originally aired, merged with UPN, which meant that the show got severe budget cuts. Everyone that was working on the show, with the exception of Scott Fellows, the creator of the show, and the voice actors, had to be laid off. You see, the show is animated in Flash for a reason. Research. Do some simple research. I sat through so many videos of various cartoon YouTubers criticizing Johnny Test, and none of them brought up the fact that the show used to be good, or the fact that the show has flash animation for a reason. It's not that hard to do some simple fucking research. Go on Wikipedia for God's sake. It's not that hard. God. And number 2, the flash animation for seasons 2 and 3 actually looked decent for its time. You have to remember that season 2 ran from 2006 to 2007, and season 3 ran from 2007 to 2008. And I think for that time period, the animation looks perfectly acceptable. Not as good as the first season's animation, but better than the admittedly stiff animation that seasons 4 through 6, or as I like to call them, the Cartoon Network era has. Back to season 1. The thing I like about season 1 is that every episode is good in that season. Seasons 2 and 3, while decent, do have the occasional meh episode, and the Cartoon Network era has very little good episodes. But not season 1. Every season 1 episode, from Johnny to the Center of the Earth all the way to Johnny and the Attack of the Monster Truck, is good. Some of the best episodes of Johnny Test come from season 1 alone. There is no bad episode in season 1. Every episode is good. Johnny's House of Horrors is my personal favorite episode. Not just from season 1, but it's my favorite episode of the whole entire show. This episode truly shows how good Johnny Test used to be. In this episode, Johnny and Dookie try to build Johnny's dad's dream house, but instead, he builds his dad's nightmare house. What makes it worse is that a client is coming over for dinner at the Test's house. Johnny and the gang attempt to stop the nightmare house. It's a fun episode. The Cartoon Network era has barely any fun episodes, so it really shows how much better the show was when it was on Kids WB. What really gets me with this episode is this part near the ending.
Listen, Dad, I'm sorry about all this. I just wanted you to have your dream house.
I already do, Johnny. I realized that today.
Wow! A heartwarming moment. It's just too bad you'll never see anything like this in the Cartoon Network era. No, seriously, the more that I think about it, the more angry I get knowing that the show will never be as good as it was in season 1. And as well as the fact that barely anyone acknowledges the fact that the show used to be good makes me even angrier. I know there will be someone in the comments saying, "Oh my god, Zerex, we get it. Johnny Test used to be good. You sound like a broken record," or something along those lines. Well, guess what? This record isn't getting fixed until more people in the cartoon community know about this. Moving back to Johnny's House of Horrors, this really is the best episode of the show. Seriously, if you want to see how good this show used to be during its first season, I recommend watching Johnny's House of Horrors. Other episodes that could work include Johnny to the Center of the Earth, Johnny Test Extreme Crime Stopper, Johnny Hollywood, Johnny's Extreme Game Controller, Lil Johnny, Johnny's Big Snow Job, and Johnny and the Attack of the Monster Truck. Hell, why stop at season 1? Let's do season 2. I recommend Johnnyland, Johnny's Got a Brand New Dad, Johnny's Pet Day, The Enchanted Land of Johnny, 101 Johnnies, Johnny Test in Black and White, Downhill Johnny, Double O Johnny, and Johnny of the Jungle. These episodes prove that even when the show downgraded to Flash animation, it stayed good. I am so sick of seeing this show appear on every single top 10 worst Cartoon Network shows list for two reasons. Number one, it's not a Cartoon Network show. And no, it's not a cookie jar show or a DHX media show or any of that bullcrap. It's a Kids WB show. The show started off on Kids WB in 2005, and it didn't air on Cartoon Network until 2008. This is yet another example of the cartoon community not doing any simple research on the unfairly hated show that is Johnny Test. The show was good when it was on Kids WB after all. And number two, I don't care how much hate this gets me, but Johnny Test does not deserve to be called one of the worst Cartoon Network shows. Not even close. I've seen people claim that Johnny Test is the worst Cartoon Network show. Seriously? Fucking seriously? I know it's their opinion and I have to respect it and blah blah blah, but come the fuck on. Think about it. Johnny Test? The worst Cartoon Network show? Worse than Teen Titans Go? Worse than The Problem Solvers? Worse than the Powerpuff Girls 2016? Worse than the High Fructose Adventures of Annoying Orange? Worse than the fucking CN Real shows? I'm sorry, but Johnny Test is better than all of those shows, and that is a fact. And I'm not just talking about Kids WB Johnny Test, I'm talking about the whole damn show. Kids WB Johnny Test and Cartoon Network era Johnny Test. Johnny Test is not worse than those shows. It's not even on the same level. How the fuck could anyone think that Johnny Test is on the same level as or is worse than a show that disrespects a beloved cartoon and has episodes where they immaturely insult the people that rightfully hate the show? A show that can give people really bad seizures due to its obnoxious color scheme and hideous art style, if you can even call it that. A show that, again, disrespects another beloved cartoon, uses outdated memes from 2010, and also features little girls twerking. Do I even need to explain this one? And a group of shows that go against the purpose of the fucking network they're on. Oh yeah, Johnny Test is totally worse than those shows. No contest. Johnny Test is 1 bajillion times worse than all of those other shows. Why? Oh, it's because they overuse a mildly annoying sound effect. Yeah, the whip cracks. Am I right? They're so annoying. Oh yeah, a mildly annoying sound effect is so much worse than little girls twerking or seizure-inducing animation. If I had a choice between pedophilia, seizures, and the Johnny Test whip cracks, I am definitely going with pedophilia and seizures, because let's be honest, anything in life is better than the Johnny Test whip cracks, am I right? Oh, but no, wait, it gets even better. Did you know that Johnny Test is a ripoff of Dexter's Laboratory? Why? Because there are trees in Dexter's Laboratory, and there are also trees in Johnny Test, which means that it is automatically a ripoff of Dexter's Laboratory. You know that Einstein loser that everyone makes a big deal about for some reason? Yeah, well, he's a Dexter's Laboratory ripoff. And so is Thomas Edison, and Isaac Newton, and any famous scientist that has ever lived and ever will live. all of them are Dexter's Laboratory ripoffs. I don't care if a lot of the famous scientists died way before the creator of Dexter's Laboratory was even born. They're automatically Dexter's Laboratory ripoffs just because they're scientists. You see all these pictures I'm showing you, all of these stock photos I got from Google Images? Yeah, Dexter's Laboratory. Everything in life is a Dexter's Laboratory ripoff. Everything in existence is a fucking Dexter's Laboratory ripoff. I'm a Dexter's Laboratory ripoff. This video is a Dexter's Laboratory ripoff. And you know what? You, yes you, the very person watching this video, you're a Dexter's Laboratory ripoff. You can interpret this as a good thing or a bad thing. And the solar system is a ripoff of Dexter's Laboratory. All the planets or whatever, rip off of Dexter's Laboratory. God is a ripoff of Dexter's Laboratory. Satan is a ripoff of Dexter's Laboratory. You know how people say, like, when you die you go to either heaven or hell? Yeah, no, you don't go to those places. When you die, you go to Dexter's Laboratory, where Dexter can punish you for ripping off his show during your lifetime. Yeah, you don't go to heaven or hell, which are both ripoffs of Dexter's Laboratory. God, everything in life is a ripoff of Dexter's Laboratory, including life itself. I'm sorry. Did I overreact a little during my little rant? Too bad. That accurately sums up the cartoon community when they talk about Johnny Test. Seriously, I want you guys to give me a good reason as to why Teen Titans Go, The Problem Solvers, the Powerpuff Girls 2016, the High Fructose Adventures of Annoying Orange, and the CN Real shows are all better than Johnny Test. Give me a good reason. I fucking dare you. And for the record, no, you cannot use Teen Titans 2003 or Powerpuff Girls 1998 as a reason as to why Teen Titans Go and Powerpuff Girls 2016 are better than Johnny Test. Number one, I'm sure a lot of people would prefer if you pretended that Teen Titans 2003 and Powerpuff Girls 1998 were completely different entities from Teen Titans Go and Powerpuff Girls 2016. Number two, that would be cheating, and cheaters never win. You have to give me a good reason as to why Teen Titans Go is better than Johnny Test. Teen Titans Go, not Teen Titans 2003. That would be cheating. And as I just said, cheaters never win. And number three, even if you want to use these two shows as a reason, you still have to give a good reason as to why the Problem Solvers, the High Fructose Adventures of Annoying Orange, and the CN Real shows are better than Johnny Test. Good fucking luck with those, by the way. There is no way in hell anyone out there unironically or even ironically thinks that Johnny Test is worse than those shows. Not even fucking close. There's no way in hell. God, I'm such an evil bastard sometimes. Rewatching this show and noticing how badly the quality decreased as each season went on was kind of funny at first. But then I think about it more, and then I realize that this isn't funny. This is fucking sad. Think about it. A show that started off really good and was very competent for its first season ended up becoming absolutely terrible. The show gets progressively worse as each season passes. You have a great first season, a good second season, a decent third season, a bleh fourth season, and an awful fifth and sixth season. Seriously, it's so hard to watch a season 5 or 6 episode and then compare it to a season 1 episode. Everything that made the first season good is completely gone in seasons 5 and 6. None of the heart that the first season had is present in these seasons. There was still a good amount of the heart in seasons 2 and 3. Not as much, but it was still there. And hell, even season 4 very rarely has the heart in it. There are occasionally some good episodes in Season 4, but Seasons 5 and 6, they can just completely fuck right off. Seasons 5 and 6 are like the yang to Season 1's yin. Seasons 5 and 6 are like the Batman and Robin to Season 1's The Dark Knight. And even then I'm pretty sure that's an insult to Batman and Robin. Seasons 5 and 6 are like the shitty MS Paint drawing from a 6-year-old to Season 1's Mona Lisa. It's that bad. Johnny Test might just be the saddest fucking cartoon ever made. To think that such a promising cartoon became so terrible is one thing, but for people to not know that it was good is another thing. This show needs to be treated better in the cartoon community. It went through seasonal rot in the same exact way SpongeBob and Fairly OddParents went through seasonal rot. I don't care if Johnny Test isn't as popular as SpongeBob or the Fairly OddParents. I don't care if it was good for a shorter period of time than SpongeBob or the Fairly OddParents. Seasons 2 and 3 are decent, but Season 1 is the only season I consider genuinely good. I don't care about any of that. The show went through seasonal rot, and more people need to know this. I am making this video to spread the word out. I heard that the show was originally going to end with 3 seasons. Honestly, if the show ended at Season 3, it would have had none of the hate it has now. It would have just been seen as a decent cartoon. I bet a lot of cartoon YouTubers never knew this, but that's not really surprising given the fact that cartoon community and doing research on Johnny Test don't belong in the same sentence together. Unless the sentence is, the cartoon community does not like doing research on Johnny Test because they are too busy overanalyzing overrated cartoons that are nowhere near as deep as they make them out to be. I'm not forcing anyone to like this show. In the same way I don't force people to hate The Loud House, I don't force anyone to like this show. It's not a perfect cartoon, I admit that. But at the very least, I acknowledge the fact that the show used to be good. You can watch the entire show on Netflix for God's sake. Why don't you sit down, load up Netflix, and watch a couple episodes of the first season to see how good the show used to be, instead of saying, it's a Dexter's Laboratory ripoff because the logos for both shows have the color green in them, or some stupid bullshit like that. Watch a couple Season 1 episodes. That is all I am asking for. And for fuck's sake, do some research on the show. I don't care how controversial this video gets. After all, a lot of people were mature with my 2 Why I Hate the Loud House videos, so I am sure that it'll be the same for here. I mean, let's be honest. A positive unpopular opinion would cause less controversy than a negative unpopular opinion. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Oh yeah, and by the way, you better give me some good fucking reasons as to why Teen Titans Go and all of those other shows I brought up earlier are better than Johnny Test. Better give me some good reasons.